Don't stop.
Hi there everybody, Photaku here again, and this is All Things Film, where we want to talk about something different than just movie reviews. I kind of want to go over my thoughts about a few trailers that I've seen, and also some behind the scenes look, especially with how Comic-Con recently passed by, and oh, we got so many goodies coming this fall. So let's get this thing started. Thor Ragnarok. I will say that at first, with its advertising, I didn't know what to think of the movie. I was gearing more towards all my hype into the latest Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And here, I didn't think I was going to get something emotional or even super fun right away, because I haven't been a big fan of the last Thor movies. I still think the first Thor is probably the strongest out of the two that have come out. But, you know, with something so vibrant and magical, you kind of wish that there'd be a lot more to go into it, especially when we got big contenders with Doctor Strange covering all the crazy multi-dimensional stuff, and we've already decked in space with some really fun action on behalf of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I've seen the newest trailer, and I gotta say, I'm kind of looking at it with a more fresh, open mind. We've got a lot of great talent that's going to be behind this movie, and that's one big thing. We also see from this trailer that we get to see that Thor is making his own team to go up against the goddess of death. Which it has me thinking, like, is she gonna be in Infinity War? Because, I mean, we all know that Thanos is trying to literally impress, if not seduce, death. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the same character or not. I haven't read the Infinity War comics necessarily. Everything I'm going off of more so is from my interaction with the Marvel superheroes game from back in the 90s. So I'm just like putting my own thoughts in the head, but I'm like, okay, you know what? That seems pretty cool. I want to see what comes out of it. And we do need more reoccurring villains, despite the fact that we also already know what what Thanos' allies are going to be also after this last Comic-Con. And so here, I like that we do have more of those interactions. I like how we're going to see a bit more of Hulk in the limelight with this. It's always great to see how Mark Ruffalo will be in this, because I love him. He's like a great character when he's a great actor when put into the limelight as Bruce Banner, and I just want to see the banter between him and Chris Hemsworth's Thor. And what's even great is I'm really excited to see how his team comes together. We also have Loki, who's returning, and that's got me with plenty of questions based on how I thought the ending was from Thor Dark World and the first trailer. So now I see that this will be fun to see how he joins in, especially because technically he's the one who should spark Ragnarok. So we'll see if this is either literally more of them just teasing us with a bit of Loki getting a redemption, or still just being kind of a villain on the sidelines who's just gonna steal the spotlight. Not that that's bad or not, but he was hands down the most fun thing that I enjoyed from Thor Dark World. And oh, that ending with Hulk talking. Like, at first I wasn't sure if we were gonna get there. We only heard him say puny god, and that was brilliant back in Avengers. But having him fully talk with Thor, that was entertaining. That was hands down pretty awesome, with that ending scene of Hulk just throwing himself at that beast. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. Okay, so I liked Saw when it came out. Specifically Saw 1 and 2. Saw 1, not that big a budget, but it did well. And they had Danny Glover on board for that one. And I felt it had a nice premise. We have a guy who obviously feels that people take their lives for granted, either by extortion, being unfaithful to people, or just getting lost in their own addictions. And so, surely enough, he comes around, puts them into a death trap game, and gives them an opportunity to redeem themselves. But what is actually probably one of the most crazy and sadistic ways of doing so, in a way that tends to kill more people than it does save. Literally save in more than one way. But I liked the first one because at least it was a crafty idea. I liked the second one because they were given a bigger budget. I totally love that song that Mudvayne did for it. In fact, they just marketed it so well that you knew that they were having fun with that money. And then it kind of continued onward, and I'm gonna say I'm a fan of horror movies. I'm a fan of the slasher genre from the 80s. I like movies like Final Destination, where, I mean, when everything's done the right way, sometimes you like to see how a little scheme comes together, or sometimes you like to see how gore and violence come along. But somehow, I feel in between there, watching Saw movies as they progress kind of felt more like torture, in ways that I felt oddly more sympathetic, empathetic each time I saw another victim go through something. Some of those topics can hit close to home, and other times seeing all the blood spray everywhere sometimes is heavy unless you have heart behind it. Kind of like Saw 6. I like Saw 6 because of that. It had a reason for the craziness to it that just added a little flair to it. Now, I know I've talked a lot about prior Saw up until this new Saw, so what are we talking about? It's called Jigsaw, and essentially the premise is that we have a copycat killer, but well endowed from what we saw at the end of the other movies, we know that there was still a bit more going down with with Jigsaw's little cult or something, if you want to call it that, and just the amount of people that they got involved. Even to a point where we had one of the craziest twists that, building on previous movies, you feel, wow, that continuity, yo. So I don't know what we're gonna go with this movie. It feels like this one is probably just gonna be more of, if it is going for that copy killer angle, we're probably gonna get guts and gore up the wazoo. But are we gonna get in the way that feels really cringy and heavy, or are we gonna get this in the type of thing that's experienced by a ride of somebody who doesn't know the material? And I know that's kind of odd, me saying something like that, but I mean, think about it. If you have people in a certain area when they're directing this movie that they're using this as the angle as to why it will not be like the other movies, we can either get something really great that will still stand on its own, referencing other movies that you might want to go back and watch, or is it going to take what we have seen into account and give us an even better feeling of closure? Because, I mean, I more so want closure for something that I've really enjoyed versus watching it drag on for too long just because we need a Halloween tradition. I mean, they're fun and all, but I mean, there's a reason why Final Destination 5 is leagues better than Final Destination 4. Which is funny because 4 was the Final Destination, Final Destination 5, not so much, but the guy who made that, kudos. Star Wars has, been actually great. I like that they're releasing movies annually, and the last two have been fun for the most part. I'm not gonna say they're great. I'm not gonna say they beat other ones. I'm just gonna say that they were refreshing, and I like the trend that we have here. So right now, with what we've had in previous trailers they've played it really close to the vest. They've let us think or try to fill in ideas of what's going to be in the movie in the back of our heads, and I commend that because it just builds hype more than it does make me frustrated. J.J. Abrams has been great about that in the past. We have a different director taking the spotlight for this movie, and after watching the behind the scenes reel from Comic-Con, I'm excited. I'm excited to know that they're still keeping up with mixing CGI and animatronics. I'm excited because we have so much practical effects that were demonstrated based on what we had seen from that previous new trailer, and then what we saw them doing in the background. I like the energy of the actors that are behind this, and I like the speculation that's thrown into this video. Right away, we have plenty of the cast saying that this is going to be different than what people are probably going to expect. There's going to be more to it. We've seen both the characters for Rey and Kylo Ren kind of go at it in the background and practicing their lightsabers. We've seen what might look like multiple fights going down for both of the characters. And, we also have those scenes of Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, but I'm glad that they're going to still include her for this movie as best as they can. And then also, I can't wait to see what they do with Mark Hamill for this, coming back as Luke. And I'm stoked at the same areas where I'm still wondering about what they're going to do. I am glad to have these other things confirmed because you just know they want to appease to all those sides of the fans. And if that's also the case with what we've had with the previous movie being The Force Awakens, and we saw that took elements from some of the other movies, but mainly was more of one big callback to the original New Hope, chances are this will probably be dark. Or maybe we're expecting it to be dark because we think it might be Empire, so it'll actually just trick us and be something else while alluding to Empire. But still, we could be in for probably one of the best, sequences in there. Last Jedi, what are we talking there? Is it Luke? Is he gone? I mean, are we talking Rey? Does something else happen between there? Maybe we get a switch. Maybe Rey loses it and Kylo Ren kind of starts his redemption arc from what happened before. I mean, it's really up in the air, but I'm just excited and I can't wait to see what we get from these movies. So anyway, those are just some of my thoughts on some of the trailers that come about and my own general reactions to them. And I'm excited. So, I mean, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Between the movies that we've talked about, is there anything that you're primarily excited for? Is there something I didn't mention that you're excited for, but you feel would be great for me to probably review when it comes out? I mean, please feel free to share in the comment section below. And thanks again. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Watch this video. So we've got plenty of great content, so stay tuned. Thanks again, and have a good one, everybody.
Stop.